It's 2007 and you have just placed the flag. The end credits flow and you expect nothing much until something appears on your screen. You have just crashed your plane and are now being pursued by the dead. This is Call of Duty Zombies, a side project being worked on by a small dev team at Treyarch. It's a horror survival experience. This story starts with you being a pilot in World War II. After crashing near an empty field of nothing, suddenly something approaches, its speed gradually growing as it's revealed to be the undead. The screen blacks out. In this time, we run to the nearest shelter, which unveils to be Nok der Untoden. Now it's only you and the undead sharing this shelter, a simple yet terrifying narrative which shows abandonment and survival in a way that would shape gaming forever. Why is World at War Zombies so effective in telling a gruesome yet gut-wrenching story? Well, it doesn't. There is no story, yet we create one in our minds. This is what makes this game so great. Verrückt, a rundown mental asylum with the empty forest surrounding this location. It's clear we are alone. All that is left is the echoes of the undead. Audio screeches from the vents, sounds of torture and death surrounds you. The sense of survival is present, but also the horror of what has taken place in this asylum fills up the player's mind. Again, a simple construct which has been executed flawlessly. Sounds also drastically change the experience. Groaning can be heard from the zombies, the movements being so weary yet so alive. Without telling us what is going on, we pick up the pieces as we play. With the disturbing audio tapes, we uncover this cryptic story. The trapped soldiers of this asylum are forced to fend off this horde of the undead until their final breath. That is just terrifying. Der Riese and Shinonuma follow this trend. However, it implements story elements with the Ultimus crew comprising of Richthofen, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio. We learn of wonder weapons and Element 115 with an understanding of why the zombies are here with the introduction of Element 115, which essentially turns humans into zombies. The horrors of World at War aren't just gameplay related. A lot of people, including myself, were very young when first playing this game. I remember being 5 years old and playing my first ever game of Call of Duty Zombies on Der Riese. The atmosphere mixed with the unsettling zombies terrified the living hell out of me. However, inevitably, I grew older, and what used to scare me doesn't anymore. This goes not only for Call of Duty Zombies, it also applies to other games like Five Nights at Freddy's and other horror related media. When looking at zombies, it's clear to see that as the years went on, the focus on horror slowly faded away. Black Ops 1 carries the trend of horror and survival, with maps like Kino der Toten and 5 being well regarded as some of the creepiest in the franchise, with horror being a key element of these two maps, as seen when we are teleported to the bloody room in Kino der Toten or being chased down by the Pentagon thief in 5. Horror is clearly one of the central focuses of these games, so would this be the same for Black Ops 2? This is where the horror aspect slowly starts to fade away. Black Ops 2 has some really scary moments, like the witch's house in Buried or the horrific corridors of Alcatraz in Mob of the Dead. However, with the focus being primarily on innovation, the game soon became more story driven, and this made it so Easter eggs became the new focus. So it's here where horror slowly becomes puzzle related, and with maps like Origins, the focus on building staffs and completing the Easter egg actually makes the map less scary. Although hearing the panzer spawning in is absolutely terrifying, knowing that once you acquire the staffs, you'll be able to 2-tap him, it starts to make the game feel less scary, and with high rounds and Easter egg speedrunning becoming more popular, the maps themselves start to feel less scary and more skill related. This also carried along to Black Ops 3. It's here where Gobblegums and overall the game became much easier, and also with the new 3-hit system, it makes the game overall a lot easier to play. The grittiness of the old games and the way they look aesthetically also makes them look a lot scarier. The newer games are still amazing, well, beside Vanguard, but the removal of horror clearly hasn't stopped the growth of the game mode, but in fact it has actually helped it. Zombies Chronicles is the best example of this. The newer graphics and overall gameplay system makes the experience overall less scary. Cold War attempted to go back to the roots of Call of Duty Zombies. Die Maschine, being a reimagining of Nocturne and Toten, is an attempt to capture that original horror the older games had. But what do you think? Was it us growing up that caused the games to feel less scary, or the constant innovation of the Zombies formula?
I fear the sound walls.